I realized this morning that financial abuse is something that I've been going through the entire relationship with Mr. Kuba. And I'm going to start off from the beginning because it hit me like a ton of bricks when he took my car this morning when I have to go to work. That he's been doing this to me the entire time. I think the only reason that he got with me in the first place was because I had a little bit of money and I had a Honda Prelude that he liked. Um, in the beginning of our relationship, it was watching me at work and stuff like that and sitting at work with me, and I thought that was charming and cool and all that good stuff. But then when I didn't want to be a hairdresser anymore and I wanted to be a real estate agent, there was no encouragement for that. No, he ripped up all my school books for it. I had somebody that gave me everything for free and proctored me and was going to help me get my license for free. Joe Alberts was going to help me get my license for free. He taught me pretty much everything I know about real estate. And he ripped up my books then. And then when I had gotten the money from the insurance and I started flipping houses, he decided then that he wasn't going to get out of bed till 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He decided to beat me up in a hotel the night that we came out to Las Vegas and get arrested when we were supposed to come out to Las Vegas to put a water heater in so our tenants could move in to the duplex that I bought. He has financially abused me the entire relationship. Every time that I have tried to do anything, and I have tried the entire relationship to be self-sufficient, to be self-employed, I have tried everything that I can, even when I got injured. I've tried everything that I can to recover from the injury. I've lost the weight. I've done everything that I need to do. And he will just pick any way that he can to abuse me. And, I'm talking about right now the financial abuse part, but I mean, nobody understands. He wants to sit there and yell at me and tell me, oh, you're just unhappy because you're not in control of the money. Well, I'm going to break this down. He made almost $125,000 this year. Out of that $125,000, about $22,000 of that is the house payment, and another $11,000 of that is the bills. He pays nothing else. He's spent over $80,000 on himself, and he's in $20,000 worth of credit card debt on top of it. He gambles on these online sports things with these people at work. He gambles in pools at work. He gambles where he'll say, oh, that's not how, blah, blah. Yeah, he's gambling on sports all the time. Supposedly he's putting money into investments and playing the stock market, doing all this stuff. But in the meantime, in this marriage that he said, oh, hey, I want to be married and I want my family. In the meantime, my Jeep is up for repossession because in the past year since we've moved into this house, he's helped me with absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Every single one of my credit cards has been closed and is overdrafted, closed with money on it. There's nothing that I can do. Every penny that I get goes to feeding my children. He has $80,000 in his pocket, and he's making us go to a food bank to get food. This is what's really going on. And he'll say, oh, all the money goes to the house and the bills and all this. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it certainly doesn't. No, it doesn't. It goes to him and whatever he wants. He's wrecked 2 cars this year. 2 cars he's completely totaled this year, and then decided to not help or pay for my Jeep, and then decides to park his Camaro in the garage when the only reason I agreed to buy a house with a garage is so that I wouldn't slip when I was getting in and out of my car. So I can't park, and then it says he's going to buy me a car, and then proceeds every time I need to go to work to take my car. I don't understand why he called me last night to come and pick him up with this. I don't know why he didn't call a tow truck to bring the car home. The car needed to be brought home. How many times do we need to drive to Three Rivers to go and get this car? I don't know why he didn't wake me up this morning. I told him last night when everybody was standing here eating pizza, I said, oh shit, I have to go to Muskegon tomorrow. I have to go to work today. I can never become, and that's part of the narcissistic abuse is, on one hand, they want you to be dependent on them, but on the other hand, they're using you and sucking you dry for everything that you fucking have. He doesn't pay for anything that he wouldn't have to pay for if me and my children were not around. And they're his children too. But I'm just saying, he doesn't pay for anything. I don't have to pay for a house payment. I own my house. This is ridiculous. And he's been abusing me this way the whole time. And on top of this kind of abuse, it's sexual abuse with the withholding sex thing and having condoms and going out and having sex with the world. On top of that, it's the lying still. Oh, he gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and can't come home till 8 o'clock at night, and then all of a sudden is coming home at 5. And then it'll be like, oh, well, my work and this and that. It's always an excuse. That's what everything is, an excuse. Everything, and that's the triangulation. That's part of the triangulation right there, is he triangulates the job with you. Anything that he has to make an excuse for, oh, it's the job, it's monogram. It's monogram. It's monogram. You know, it's abuse of every single kind. Last night, after I am nice enough to go and drive in that horrible fucking weather, in slush, getting pulled off the fucking road, people crashing every fucking where, he has me come to Three Rivers to get him. And instead of saying thank you, he starts screaming at me to drive more to the left. I'm not going to drive more to the left. I'm going to drive in my lane. I don't care what he says. He acts like I don't drive. I drive a fucking probably 150 or 200,000 miles a year. And I'm not the one that's totaled 2 cars, and I'm not the one that has tickets, and I'm not the one that has problems with my driving. I get where I'm going just fine, and I get home just fine. I'm cautious. I don't drive fast. I don't drive in my my PTSD state of panic like he's constantly in this state. I don't drive with some weird purpose like I used to and in competition with everybody on the road. I could give a shit. Every time you turn around, the guy is just one abuse after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. And you know, I watch Sister Wives and I watch some of the shows that I do, and I get this hope that, you know, that I'll lose this weight and I'll meet somebody else, and I can't even get the damn guy at the gas station to talk to me. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why I'm supposed to be completely and totally alone and just sit in this abuse like a shitty diaper. I'm tired of sitting in the shitty diaper of abuse. I don't want to be in a marriage with Ryan Kuba. I've prayed and I've prayed and I've prayed and I've prayed and I've told God a lot of times, fix my husband, fix my husband. I've hung in here and done everything that I'm supposed to do. And that's why I continue to mention Sister Wives, because everything in Sister Wives between those women is everything that I go through with this stupid man. You know, he's done the Mary thing to me, he's done the Janelle thing to me, he's done the Christine thing to me. And Robin is just every whore that he's ever cheated on me with. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely stupid. And he's got this Camaro parked in the driveway and we have to struggle for a fucking other car. He could trade this Camaro in and get something that he could drive every day. But I mean, why do something sensible? Why do something sensible when you can continue to act in nonsense and continue to act haphazardly and continue to run around life like a chicken with your head cut off and never make a good decision? And I find it very interesting, you know, and I'll go back to the financial abuse. I'm going to give you another proof of financial abuse. I said to him, you know, he says, oh, I'm making all this money in the stock market, and, you know, in 10 years we'll be able to retire with like $7,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 worth of dividends a month and all this. And I said, okay, well, you know, well, don't you want to be investing that for me too? Don't you want to be doing the same thing for me too, so we could double our money? Well, of course, no. No. And then he sits down and tells me, you know, oh, well, how you pick stock is by knowing this and knowing that and knowing this about some computer chips or some bullshit. It's shit that I know nothing about. Nothing about. I said, you know, all I need to know is, like, you know, what to try and put in my, well, you don't have money for that or whatever, and just changes the subject and goes right off of it. And it's like, you know, it's keeping you dependent. It's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you fucked. It's keeping you fucked when they're forcing you to eat from a food bank, and he is making us pay for his food too. That's the thing. He goes to work. He wants to say, oh, I spend $10 a day with the, yeah, he spends $20 or $30 a day on food alone. not $10. He spends $20 or $30 a day on food and snacks and drinks and anything that he wants. And that's what this is all about, is running around being a big baby. It's not about being in a marriage. And the only reason that he has me here, and I'm well aware of this, is so that he can come home at night and not feel like a loser. From whatever the hell it is that he does during the day, he doesn't want to come home at night to being alone. But that's exactly what he's going to get, because I'm not going to tolerate this shit anymore. I'm not going to tolerate this shit. I've given him every chance in the world, and I actually bought into his bullshit this last time. And you know, it is what it is. It's not. I've wanted to make it something other than narcissism, and that's the thing that he doesn't understand. He thinks that I'm running towards the narcissistic diagnosis, and no, I'm actually running away from it and giving him every chance that I can give him to show that he's not that person. But that's who he is. Every decision that he makes is based on what a whining, crying, stomping 5-year-old would want. The idea that you would leave my car in Three Rivers because the windshield wipers stopped working instead of calling a tow truck. It took me over an hour to drive there. He could have called the tow truck. He could have left the keys in the car and had a tow truck bring the car to the house where we could fix it. But no, for some reason today he wanted me to have access to no vehicle. And that's not going unseen by me. That's not going unseen by me. He was supposed to wake me up this morning so that he could go and get the car, or at least get the car moved from where it was, or at least get the car to his work where they could try and fix the fucking windshield wipers. But he didn't do that. And I've noticed that he set his alarm really quiet now so that only he hears it when it goes off. Yeah, because he gets up and goes to work at different times. He is always hiding something. He's always lying about something. And that's where the lie is about the hiding. Narcissists lie by omission and by fucking hiding more than they lie by telling you anything. That's just the fact of the matter. And we all know damn good and well that he was going somewhere. If the paychecks never changed, now the paychecks are going to be shorter and all this and that, and fucking he's just making up shit and making up shit and making up shit and making up shit. You never know what they're doing. That's why you can't care about anything that they're doing, because you never know what they're doing. But this doesn't work. This doesn't work. And it's really not fair. You know, you watch in this world and you fucking pray and you do all these things that you're supposed to do, and nothing changes. Nothing changes. The good person in the marriage that didn't abuse everybody, that's tried to take care of everything, deserves to live in the house by the toxic waste dump. And the person that's doing all the wrong in the world and has beat up on his wife and has kicked his 2-year-old and has done all these things that are horrible in his fucking lifetime, he gets the nice house and gets all the money and that's worldwide. That doesn't matter what culture you're from, what color you are. It doesn't matter. What's happening in the world, and until people wake up and recognize it's not color, it's a battle really literally of good versus evil. I see exactly what everybody with the narcissistic abuse community is saying. It is a bad versus good deal. That's what it is. That's what it is. You have this entire world full of people that are being rewarded for being absolute pieces of shit. And you have all the good people praying to God and taking it. And that's not fair. But financial abuse and being abused all the time, just in every way that this guy can abuse me, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm totally sick of it. And I've tried to be nice, and I've tried to be thoughtful, and he has not. He is not. He is not. I'm tired of him taking from me. I'm tired of him abusing me. With the amount of money that he makes, it's time to get my Jeep paid off and get it running so that my children can use it, or I can use it, or he can use it when need be. If he wants to be part of a family, it's time for him to start acting like he's part of a family. And if all narcissists can do is act, then he needs to start acting the right way. But that's never going to happen. And that's why I'm going to leave. 2024 is the last year that I'm going to spend with a narcissist. I've told him this. I continue to tell him this. I'm not putting up with this through 2024. I have done everything that I absolutely can in my power, including pray to God, to help this man. If praying to God does not help this man, if God is unable to help this man become a decent human being in my life and in the life of my children and in his own life for that matter, then there's nothing that I can do for him. If God can't help him, there's nothing that I can do for him. And some days I believe in God, and some days I don't, and some days I'm angry, and some days I'm not, and some days I'm grateful, and some days I'm not. And, it's just, I'm just going to sit there and continue to say the thing. It's solely up to God to fix him. There's nobody else that can fix him. Him and God have to get together and have a chat. God's even had him in church with every one of the whores that he cheats on me with. It's just absolutely flabbergasting. You do what you're supposed to do, and this is why I wrestle with the whole God thing. I mean, the concept of marriage and everything. I've done what I'm supposed to do. I've biblically done everything that I'm supposed to do. And he's unwilling to meet me, and that's why I keep going back to the sister wives thing, because it's like what Mary said. You've already divorced me. You've already ended the union. You've already... It doesn't matter who I am or where I am or what I'm doing. You've already done that. You've already made those decisions. His behavior has already made those decisions. So pretty much, yeah, I will be moving out soon. I just wanted to get myself in a position where I could actually do that. I wanted to get the weight off. I wanted to, feel better about myself. I wanted to be able to move around. I wanted to be able to support myself. I want to be able to support my kids. I want my kids to go to college. I want my kids to have a better life. I don't want my kids wind up shacked up with an abuser because they just want away. That's what happens when you come from a narcissistic, abusive mother. You go directly into a narcissistic, abusive spouse. And that's what my mother modeled for me. Narcissism, borderline personality disorder, constant abuse, constant cheating because my stepdad was a fucking womanizer. But she was just as abusive and narcissistic and nasty and mean. And I mean, it's just abuse after abuse after abuse. A very, very long line of adults that don't step up to the plate and do what they're supposed to do. And I've had it with that. And I've had it with seeing it in my son as well. And I'm about to have a talk with my son and his girlfriend at the same time that she needs to stand up for herself and he needs to stop acting like his father. Because if he continues to do so, he's abusive, and I'm going to call him out on it. I don't want him to be like his father. I don't understand how you could model yourself after such a fucking jerk when you've had two good parents, why you would want to act like the bad one. Well, because as the world has shown my son, acting like a fucking jerk is what gets you somewhere. That needs to change. Maybe people wouldn't act like such fucking jerks if they weren't rewarded for it. And it's funny too, with all the drama and chaos that this man causes in people's lives. He's the one that's gotten to keep his job after everybody. After everybody that got fired, after everybody that got let go, after everybody that left the state. Not only did he keep his job, he took over an office for himself and made his own position, and now that's how he has it in life. And anytime I struggle and work hard and try to do good and try to do the best that I can, I get nothing but resistance. It's very hard to, have spirituality when, you pray and pray and pray and nothing gets better, but maybe it's just a realization that some people God can't help. Some people, the devil is got a grip on them and God can't help, because that's the only excuse for being such a horrible person. He's a horrible, horrible human being. There's nothing about him that is good. There's nothing about him that is nice. And whatever happened to him between the time that he left me for that nasty, ugly Sarah McConnell and the time that we got back together, I mean, there's like nothing left on the inside of him. He's like the most shell of a disgusting drip of a human being. He's become an alcoholic. He's just does anything he can to deaden his feelings so that he doesn't come home and rage and beat and scream and yell like he wants to, because, on the one side he wants us here, but on the other side he wants nothing to do with us. He doesn't want to pay for us. He doesn't want to have to give us anything. He doesn't want to have to do anything. We owe him. Everybody owes him. Everybody's taken from him and stolen from him and stolen his life, and everybody's done to him. And that's how he is. That's the drama he comes at everything with. You have to pick me up right now. You have to pick me up right now. I'm panicking. I have to get home now. I'm panicking. Instead of just calling a tow truck and having the car towed home like a normal human being would do. And that's a lot of what I'm starting to see, is that there's no normal human being. And that's my son getting up. Probably heard me talking. But yes, I'm very angry. It's abuse. And that's abuse. And he can take his money and he can pay for the tires to get put on the car. I will not be putting tires on the car. I will be taking my Honda and getting its window fixed and getting its windshield wipers fixed at the Honda dealership. I'm not going to worry about him anymore. And anything that he tries to provide, because he doesn't provide us anything. The first thing that you're supposed to provide for your family is food, shelter, and transportation. And he doesn't want to do those things.